How does somebody get out of email jail? How do we clean up? Or is it sometimes so bad that you just have to relinquish that email address, domain, and start fresh?
It's highly not recommended to start using a new domain name, and the reason for this is security gain. So let's imagine that all the time you receive the emails from my email address, shcompany.com, from my domain name, right? And then suddenly I decide to send the email to you from shcompany.net, for example. So this domain is very similar to the original one. However, it's a little bit different. And today it's very easy for anyone to go to GoDaddy and to register the very similar domain name to yours and start sending emails, like fake emails, to your clients, your partners, and things like that. And those emails will likely be filtered into the spam folder because they look like very similar to yours, but they are not coming from your domain name.
So keep what you have and then work to clean it up.
Yes, exactly. And this process can be very difficult. So you probably sometimes will need 2 to 3 months of time to recover your domain reputation, your sender reputation, to recover your IP addresses. So everything depends on how huge your problem is. So if that's only about the domain reputation, probably 3 to 4 weeks will be enough. However, if your IP address, let's imagine that you have your own SendGrid account with a dedicated IP address, and if your IP address is blacklisted, you will definitely have to reach out to blacklist providers, request delisting. You'll need to work with them, proving that you're a legitimate sender, showing some kind of business-related information to prove.
So literally, you go to a blacklist provider that basically has you on the list, and you ask them to remove you from that blacklist. And what do you usually have to do to prove? You have to have penance, right? You have to say, I'm sorry, forgive me for I have sinned. So what do you have to do?
Something like this. So normally it depends on which list your IP address is in. So you can be in the fish abuse list, or you can be in a spammers list and things like that. So you just have to prove. So if you're in the fish abuse list, and if your IP address was used by threat actors to distribute phishing emails, you need to make some kind of security improvements on your email server. And then you can reach out to blacklist provider and tell them, hey, I implemented all the security measures I needed to have to close that vulnerability on my IP address, on my infrastructure. And they were like, we see some kind of improvement, so probably you're in a good place right now. We can delist your IP address.
And then do you have to, when you go back, once you get delisted, now do you go back and you gradually start to email smaller chunks of that email database?
Exactly. So every single provider, they have their own threshold in terms of the number of emails that you can send. For example, when it comes to Gmail users, you can only send no more than 50 emails on the day one. If you send, like, let's imagine 70 emails to the Gmail users on the first day, most probably your emails will go to a spam folder. So you have to start small.
So now you're back in jail again.
For sure, because you have to start small and you have to start with the most engaged leads in your database. So we recently migrated our email infrastructure from one provider to another. And we also started small with 15 emails on the first day. Then we sent 25 emails, 45 emails, and things like that. So normally the best possible recommendation, and this is a safe strategy for everyone, is to increase your email sending volume gradually by 30% every day.